another episode with Wellness with Mo. Hi, my name is Mo, and today's episode was inspired by a video I happened to watch last week with regards to respect. In the video, there was a really interesting quote that I want to begin this episode by sharing it with you. So, it basically says that respect is more than just caring for another. It is caring for humanity. And I really want to put several lines underneath that quote. Because respect is not just about caring, it is caring for humanity. And many of us fail to see the point of respect. And many of us, today's world, in this dynamic and vast and quickly moving world, we tend to forget the idea of respect. So respecting diversity means acknowledging and appreciating and learning from the differences and similarities among people. I, as an individual, have long stood by the philosophy that to understand other people, even my darkest enemies, even if my biggest nemesis, I need to acknowledge, appreciate, and learn their culture. And so, when learning their culture, I will learn the differences and similarities between my culture and their culture. And that is where the problem of the world is. We do not want to learn other people's culture, other people's norms, other people's ethnic background, other people's history. This is where respect for diversity comes really into it. And mindfulness can really help you respect the diversity in several ways. In this episode, I will try and mention four major ways that mindfulness can help you respect diversity. And it's so interesting, that we tend to really forget about it, even though it's quite simple, these four ways, if we sit and think about it and really try and apply these four ways. But because we are human beings and because we are biased to ourselves and to our thinking and to our culture and to our religion, we tend to not think about these things. So what are these four interesting ways where you can respect diversity using mindfulness? Number one, reduce bias. Number two, foster empathy. Number three, enhance communication. And number four, promote inclusion. You see, all four of them, when you learn about them, when you dig deep into them, they all are connected together and they all create a more mindful person. A lot of people think that mindfulness is just, a good word to say, and really everyone has been saying it ever since the pandemic hit. And after the pandemic hit, they've been saying mindfulness, wellness, well-being, and all those lovely jargons. And really, we do not understand what is mindfulness and why I usually try and link mindfulness with our daily practices, because mindfulness is something that we do on a daily basis without us feeling. Again, talking about mindfulness, we all know what it means. It is means being present and acknowledging our feelings and emotions at that same point. The problem is still a lot of people cannot let go of the past. A lot of people tend to hold grudges against others. It's so amazing that I try and keep on telling these people, and sometimes they're clients and sometimes they're very close people, to forget about the past, to let go, to live and let live. Because life is short, people. Life is really short. So if we learn how to respect with diversity and we learn how to respect with mindfully other people, big and old, seniors and juniors, even in the workplace, if we learn how to respect others and to acknowledge that others can become much more smarter. They might know better information of certain areas than we have. So what are these for? Again, let me repeat them for you. These are reducing bias, foster empathy, enhancing communication, and promote inclusion. These are the 4 ways. So when we talk about reducing bias, what is bias? Bias is the tendency for any human being to favor or dislike someone or something. It's like we base it upon an assumption that, yeah, I don't like that person. Yeah, that person is, yeah, there's no chemistry. Even though that person, he or she did not do anything. It is just the assumption and the impression that one gets from the body language of the person in front of him. And so he builds or she builds this kind of bias. And this kind of bias stays there for a very, very long time until that person learns to overcome his or her bias, to overcome his or her dislike to that person, and try and find something in the middle where you can like that person. So when we talk about reducing bias, bias can affect your perception and judgment and interaction with others. So how can mindfulness help with this kind of way? Well, mindfulness can help you become more aware of your own thoughts and feelings. So they will help you. Mindfulness will help you, show you how you can be more aware of your thoughts and more aware of your feelings through meditation, through journaling, through just open discussion and being vulnerable with other people and receiving feedback. Again, I always say in most of my trainings and where I meet people, the number one problem we have as human beings is that the impossibility and impracticality of receiving feedback, because we take it so defensively. We think that the people there are out there to get us, out there to take our place, out there to become the better coach, the better trainer, the better speaker, and so on and so forth. However, when I say feedback, I always mean constructive feedback, even if it is negative, constructive feedback. So it is important to understand that this kind of feedback really helps you when you sit within a group, and even that person, if that person is sitting with you in that same group, and you've already built, that kind of bias that you built, it's important to understand and monitor your thoughts and reasons and feelings towards that person, and try to examine it. Try to put yourself in his place. He might be, or she might have, the same kind of bias towards you. So it is really important to overcome these inaccuracy and challenges with others, and try and understand others clearly and better. We again tend to do this a lot of time, and reducing bias means reducing judgment. And if we can reduce judgment, then we can truly understand others and others' thinking and emotions, and so on and so forth. I can keep on talking about it. And how does this tie up in respect? Well, it really ties up, because at the end of the day, when you reduce your bias and you reduce your feelings of hate or dislike of that person, so it increases your respect, and it increases your empathy. And empathy is what we're going to talk about in number 2, which is fostering empathy. Like we said, empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another person and show compassion and support. Empathy is not sympathy. And like Brené Brown always mentions, empathy is how we put ourselves in other people's shoes. Sympathy is just saying, well, it's okay. It happens to all of us. and it's really irritating because no sympathy it doesn't show any kind of respect or any kind of being mindful of that person. So being empathetic and practicing compassion is the number one thing to remember. Still, I meet a lot of people these days who lack the skills and lack the philosophy of being empathetic and compassionate towards other human beings. Either they're older than them, wiser than them, or younger than them. Empathy has no age limits. Empathy is being there for that person, is having your support system, the support system that I keep on mentioning every now and then, every few weeks. I keep mentioning them. Why? Because support systems are important, and these are the people that really help you grow. So fostering empathy will help you foster respect. When you empathize and be compassionate with others, it's so important. Empathy is essential for building trust, respect, and cooperation. So it is essential if we want to trust each other, if we want to build a cooperation, if we want to build a successful company or a successful business, you need to foster empathy. It's so important and it's so amazing. Also, it enhances your emotional intelligence, and this is where I talking about emotional intelligence with many of my clients, either on corporate levels or individuals, that one of the components of emotional intelligence is empathy. And you see, empathy is so strong these days where we are so busy and so worked up that we have no time to feel this kind of compassion and to feel this kind of respect of others. So again, practicing mindfulness can make you become more aware, more emotionally aware, and more emotionally intelligent. This is why when I try and deliver, emotional intelligence, I usually use the word the art of emotion, because every component in emotional intelligence, including empathy, is an art within itself. So practicing empathy is not a simple and not an easy thing to do, but it is a must if you want to build trust, cooperation, and a strong business among other people. Our third way where respect helps diversity is enhancing communication. Yes. Communication is the number one thing that we lack as human beings. You know that 55% of our body language is communication. It is the main message that comes. And only 7% of our communication are words that come out of our mouth. And that is, a staggering and amazing statistics. That with our body language and our gestures and our tonality and so on and so forth, we can really foster and enhance our communication, either a negative message we want to send or even a positive message. So enhancing communication is vital for creating mutual understanding. Most of misunderstanding between human beings is a lack of communication. It's there, it's always there,